What's up, everybody? The Iceman here, the man with the plan, the man with the knowledge, the man with the wrestling news here on this Thursday on the Iceman's Return YouTube channel. A lot of stuff going around in the world of professional wrestling. Sheamus is being uh, touted as being very, very reckless in his appearance on SmackDown. A lot of people were unhappy with his performance. He did cut open Daniel Bryan. They also thought that Sheamus just overdid what he was supposed to do. Originally, it was supposed to be Sheamus and Barrett going up against Ziggler and Daniel Bryan, but Dolph Ziggler, obviously, they are claiming has an injury, could not make it, so they put Barrett on the commentary team during this match. But Sheamus is getting a lot of heat as we speak. Vince McMahon and Stone Cold Steve Austin. McMahon's so upset with Austin right now about the remarks he's made on his podcast. Austin's supposed to be the host of the WWE Tough Enough show. Whether or not he does or not, he's turned it down. He has not stated his reasons. And this is the reason why, after Monday Night Raw, Chris Jericho will do a podcast with his guest, none other than the United States champion, John Cena. A lot of interesting news there. Vince also reported very, very upset with Stone Cold Steve Austin, basically stating, I made him. What is he doing to me? I made him. So that's big, big news here in the WWE as well. There were reports on one of the wrestling sites, and I put it on my Facebook page, that TNA bought the WCW name from WWE, and they were going to change their name to WCW Impact. Obviously, guys, yesterday was April Fool's Day, and it was obviously just a joke, so don't take it too serious, because it's something that you know darn well that the WWE would obviously really never do. What else going on in the wrestling world here on the Iceman's Return YouTube channel? Well, I'll tell you. There's still a lot of heat going on about the Hall of Fame ceremonies and whatnot. Now I could care less. Everybody's ranting on people saying that the WrestleMania 31 was the biggest and best show ever. Bottom line is, I don't think people are really actually saying it was the best show ever. They're saying probably like what I did. It was one of the best shows we've seen in years. And that could be 5 years ago or 10 years ago or 15 years ago, whatever your opinion is. But, by all means, the WWE is really putting out statistics to try to make it look like, obviously at Levi's Stadium, where the San Francisco 49ers do their NFL football games, they broke an attendance record. Okay, so what? Does that make WrestleMania the biggest moneymaker ever? No. You've got to look into the context of what you're reading and what's being reported. They said Monday Night Raw in USA was the highest rated Monday Night Raw after Mania in many, many years. And the objective and the key word here is after Raw Mania. So, when you see that Raw had major results, on that night than many, many years, remember, it's the after Raw Mania. Indeed. So, so a lot of, just a lot of when you read stuff, you need to really read into what you're reading. Don't just take it out of context. Really absorb it and say to yourself, what does this really mean? In the world of professional wrestling. So, SmackDown airs tonight. I'm looking forward to watching it. I did watch NXT last night, and I will say this: NXT is, in my eyes, has gone on a little bit of a downward swing. We did see Sami Zayn. It was good to see Sami Zayn. But Hideo Itami going up against Tyler Breeze in a 2 out of 3 falls match wasn't, to me, something that I was going to be captivated in. So, then we saw Bayley with the heel Emma and whatnot. The show was okay, but I think, the WWE and NXT, here's my issue. Rumors are floating around that NXT is going to have a takeover more often than what they've had before. And in my eyes, it's almost like back in the days when WWF and WCW or NWO, whichever way you want to call it, had 4 pay-per-views a year, and they built up the anticipation for 3 months for their pay-per-view. And this build-up was so great that when the time came, you couldn't wait to watch it. And that's the same thing with the NXT takeovers. They don't have them all that often, but if they do decide to promote them and have them on a monthly basis, they're doing the same mistake that the WWE and WCW has done, is by having a 12 pay-per-view year. I don't think it will work. And I think really basically too, if you think about this, you have your 12 WWE pay-per-views, and then you're going to have a 12 pay-per-views for NXT for takeovers. Way too much exposure. People are, you're going to start running into each other. You're going to start seeing the same things that we see on WWE live TV today as we do on pay-per-views, because, pay-per-views used to be where matches were, you couldn't wait to see them because they never were seen on regular TV. Whereas now Raw shows and SmackDown shows matches that we can still see on a pay-per-view. So it's really nothing all that special unless you're Brock Lesnar and, your contract eludes you from doing live TV and all these pay-per-views. But the same thing will go for NXT. If you start seeing all this build up on NXT and see these guys go against each other, unless they make it with their takeover pay-per-views, or I shouldn't even call them pay-per-views because you get to watch them on the WWE network. But if you build up these matches on NXT, and we see the confrontations once you air them on an NXT takeover, it's just like watching NXT in the long run. Maybe something special might happen, or maybe something a little different might happen. But the bottom line is, wrestling should have kept pay-per-views and shows like this 4 times a year. Give it a 3-month build-up, because it gave all us fans to watch anticipation for that build-up. And without that build-up, like I said, you watch a Monday Night Raw and you watch a Thursday SmackDown, and then you watch a pay-per-view. Really, on the pay-per-view, how much different is that pay-per-view from watching Raw or SmackDown? So anyway, it's a Thursday. SmackDown tonight, I'm looking forward, because I haven't, I read about the Sheamus and Daniel Bryan match, and I'm really looking forward to seeing, what develops there. To me, that's a big thing. Does anybody really like the new look Sheamus? Do they like the heel turn of Sheamus? I think he sort of looked a little funky when he came out on Monday Night Raw. I honestly don't think this gimmick for Sheamus is going to really last too long. I think the WWE is going to find out that it was a big mistake. And I think Sheamus was very much more of an established wrestler when he was a babyface here in the WWE. So what they're going to decide to do with that remains to be unseen. We'll just have to wait and see. So everybody, peace out and enjoy your Thursday. We'll see y'all next time. This is the Iceman here on the Iceman's Return YouTube channel.